Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay, I would like to call the Village Trustees meeting to order on April 14th at 6:30 PM. Are there any additions or deletions to the posted agenda?
I don't have any.
Okay.
No.
So citizens' comments. Can anyone who wants to make a citizen's comment, please raise their hand? Okay, 1, 2, 3,
1, 2, 3, 4.
4. And how about online? You see anyone
I'm
online?
not seeing any hands online.
Anyone online want to have a citizen's comment? Okay, the comments are 3 minutes apiece, and why don't you start first, Wendy? Yep.
Yes.
Do we have to
Should these?
microphone up there?
I'm shoot that we can hear from that microphone.
Okay.
Wendy Marinan, and I'm a village resident. I just want to take a minute to say, I was really delighted to see the full page ad in the Standard with so many fellow residents' names on behind the sentiment of gratitude and appreciation for the work that you do as volunteers, as we know, and fellow citizens that care about the community. So I just wanted to add my personal name informally to, as I shared that sentiment. And I thought it was a nice, kind way to surprise you. I hope you were surprised and give you some kudos. So thanks.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. There is one now. So do we want to go to that one or keep doing the floor? Here, I can't see who it is though.
Barbara.
Barbara?
Hello? Hi, can you hear me?
Your full name and where you live?
My name is Barbara Otranto and I live in Woodstock.
Go right ahead. 3 minutes.
My 3 minutes. I ask this question at every meeting that I go to. I would like to know who approved or how $125,000 of the town money got approved for village expenses for a personnel issue that is going on.
Thank you.
And also, wait a second, I'm not done.
Okay, sorry, ma'am.
The banners that are stuck up on each side of the green, they look like billboards to me. I thought, Woodstock or Vermont was supposed to be encouraging beauty, and the banners that are stuck up there are really kind of ugly, and that's my opinion, but that's what I would like to say.
Thank you. Anyone else online?
Typically you do like one in.
Oh, okay. Nico?
Very much.
You're welcome. Remember, 3 minutes.
Thank you very much for the reminder.
I won't time you, but
Well,
Go for
my
it.
name is Nicholas Selden, and I appreciate Mrs. Otranto's comments. I think that it's really disheartening to hear that several people have not only written a letter, but have come before you today and probably are sitting in this audience that are commending you, well, not the two of you, but the rest of you, for what you have done in destroying a person's career, and especially at the helm of Mr. Duffy. And it's not the first career that he has destroyed that you just don't have any interest in investigating for some odd reason. What the two of you probably do not know is that 3 women have resigned under Mr. Duffy before the whole issue with Joe Swanson came about. I really suggest that you look into this. He has a pattern. He is vindictive. He's malicious. They wrote this in their exit interviews way before the Joe Swanson issue ever even happened. This is a pattern of behavior that we have with this gentleman, and you really need to do something about it because these individuals are not doing anything. They're single-handedly responsible for destroying somebody's career that has been part of this community for over 40 years. We have newer residents here who don't care about that, and that's perfectly fine. But this is somebody who dedicated his life to Vermont, to Woodstock, Vermont. And this individual comes in here and within a couple of years just destroys everything he was working for. You have a malpractice claim against the lawyers that have been advising the village and the town. They don't want to recognize that. That's fine. I want you to know this, and I want your successors to know this. You can recapture all the taxpayer money that has been wasted. All you have to do is assert a malpractice claim against John Klesch And Brian Monaghan, you will win. They've already been reversed. They're about to be reversed again. You will get everybody's taxpayer dollars back and it's going to be paid for by their insurance company. You will win. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next? Who raised their hand next?
It's some folks over here.
Did you raise your hand?
They did.
Yeah, please come up.
Yeah.
And we just want you to state your name when you sit down and where you live.
I'm Douglas Odsley and I live in Tassville. Lived here all my life. And I'm wondering, I've spoken to several of the town crew people, and since the new pavement has been put on through the village, 3 signs have disappeared. One across from the village market, one at Tribune Park, and one right out here by the covered bridge. No passing in the village. This was going on when I was a policeman here in the village, and the signs have disappeared. I had a tractor trailer truck pass me by the firehouse earlier this year, one morning. A tractor trailer with logs on it.
Oof.
I've had another one pass me by the village market, and one right out here as you come around the green. Also, I'm wondering, where are the police?
I'll be answering that later.
You will?
Yes, I will.
I seem to see a lot of cars parked at the fire station when I'm around the village. Are they playing games or what are they doing?
No.
On the end there on the video games? Come on. I
Eric,
mean, I was here working the streets. We did work the streets. I was here with a chief of police by the name of Elio Paglia. I don't know if any of you ever knew him, but he was a fine police officer. Probably one of the best chiefs this town ever had. I just wonder what's going on. Why are we having people passing and speeding through town? That's what I have to say. I'm wondering what's going on.
Eric, can you follow up with the signs?
Yes, I think it's best if we have this conversation once citizens' comments closed, but.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't mean to have it, but yes.
I actually talked to my nephew who worked for the village for years. And he said that they had taken the signs down and they were going to put the signs back up. This is 4 years ago now.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So I shouldn't say anything.
No.
Okay, thank you.
During citizen comments.
Roger?
Roger Logan, Woodstock Village. I just wanted to register a major complaint. And that is that this is the most boring agenda ever. But I'm kidding, obviously. This is, what you're doing is the nitty gritty day-to-day work of government. And that's exactly what we need to get done. You know, it's great when we have big accomplishments and things that we can send out into the heavens, but what you're doing now is the day-to-day nitty-gritty work of getting things done, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm not seeing anyone
Nope,
else.
right here.
She had her hand up.
Sandy Audsley from Tassville. Mainly one thing, I wonder why the police report's not in the newspaper anymore. It's kind of nice to hear the local buzz of what's going on, and that's a good place to find out, you know, where there was an accident or, you know, whatever happened. That would be handy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, moving on. Eric, would you like to start the manager's report?
Yes, and Doug, I will look into the signs for you, and if you want to leave me your email address, or if you have an email address, you can email me and I'll get in touch with you as soon as I can for the signs. Okay, so my report, first, we're finally almost up and running on the short-term rental software for the village. We had a meeting today where the final step is they're just working on the language for the permanent document that people will sign up on online. The hope is to have an email sent out to all the current registered short-term rental owners in the village in the next 2 weeks. I'll let them know that they have to re-register by June 1st and pay the fee by June 1st. If not, they'll incur penalties after that. So that's kind of the update on short-term rentals. The hope is, if you look at the financial report, you know, we're budgeting $25,000. We have about $4,750 in there. That by the end of the fiscal year, that number should be up closer to $25,000 with all the registered short-term rentals in the village. On that, I'm going to quickly pivot. So if you're not one of the 200 subscribers to my vlog, we started something different this week where we kind of did a weekly recap, or also kind of looked back and did a monthly recap of everything that happened in March, or I guess the highlights. So I'm going to kind of read through some of the stuff. I first want to start with last week, the select board voted and approved the FY26 water and sewer rates. Bills went out today. So you should be receiving a bill in the next few days. If you have not, please contact the finance office. The bill is for 9 months of usage. In the past, you got 1 sewer bill. Going forward, you'll get 2. In the past, you got 4 water bills. Going forward, you'll get 2. Because of the weights of the typical, everyone used to get in 1 every quarter. Now it's 9 months. We set the due date till June. So people have about 2 months to kind of get the money together and pay the 9 months. Or if you want to come in and pay in installments between now and June, we'll accept that as well. Or if you have difficulty affording your water or sewer rate, please contact the finance office and we'll work with you to try to find ways to make it valuable for you. I would also encourage anyone to go back and watch that video. Robert Densmore, who's our finance director, did an excellent job for about 35 minutes, to Roger's points, very boringly walking through how to set a water and sewer rates, where it comes from. And I think it's a very good in-depth look at the expertise of our staff, but also kind of where these numbers come from, and get a sense of like where the rates are based off of.
Where's that video?
It's on the website. If you subscribe to my Substack, I sent a link out today. But it's on the select board's meeting of April 7th. It starts at the 22 minute mark, and goes on for about 30 minutes, I believe. Also on our website now is a video of the open meeting law and executive session training both boards got on April 1st. So if you're curious what open meeting law is, or executive session, you can watch that video. We had a lawyer from Vermont League of Cities and Towns come out, about a 2-hour training. It was very insightful on what open meeting law is and executive session. So I encourage people to look at that as well. I will be holding another public office hour this Friday at 8:30 at Farmer in the Bell. So if anyone wants to come out and talk about anything town related, I'll be there for about an hour or so, depending on who shows up. So I'll push out one more time, but again, 8:30 Friday morning at Farmer in the Bell, which I think right now is the only coffee shop open in the village. I found out with Monterey being closed. So if you need a coffee fix, that's where you can go. So kind of looking at overview of what happened in the last month in the municipality. My finance office and assessors work together on the homestead filing penalty. Tomorrow is a deadline to file your homestead. So if you are so the way Vermont works is they automatically make you a non-homestead and you have to declare your homestead filing. The issue we have with that is people don't know that. And then when the state does their education tax, Woodstock has to pay a higher share because we don't have everyone. We have people in the wrong categories. So the select board voted on creating a penalty up to 3% if you don't file your homestead in time. So taxes are due tomorrow, do your homestead as well. But the finance office and assessors work together on kind of creating that penalty and the language for that. So very thankful for them on that. On the reappraisal front, The appraiser company we worked for has contacted roughly 30% of all the homes in Woodstock. And they've been able to do about 96 interior inspections. The really important thing about allowing someone into your house to do the inspection is if not, they're gonna have to estimate the assessed value of your house. And then if it's wrong, you have to come grieve it and go to a meeting to grieve it. So it creates a much longer process rather than a 10-minute visit by someone coming in, walking around your house and taking a quick look. But if you have any questions about them coming to your house, you can reach out to our assessing office and they'll walk you through the process. At the next trustee meeting, I assume you'll have the bylaw updates in front of you. The planning commission and our planning department worked over the last year or so on updating those bylaws. I think Wendy probably came to most of the meetings, so she can speak to how long it took. So that was a very large process. I want to thank them for all their work, and that'll be in front of you hopefully in your May meeting. On the waterfront, the select board approved a vendor, VHB, to work on the environmental assessment for the Elm Street pipe. So they're working on that now. We're going to have a recommendation to the select board for the meeting next week on a vendor for the overall water system improvements. So for the new well and for the new piping under Cox Road all the way to the rec center. So they'll have ideally that vote on next week, and that project will start moving as well. Moving forward, I'm going to throw some numbers at you. Our fire EMS had 69 EMS calls in the month of March, 29 fire calls. They had 9 building inspections. The new ambulance finally arrived and is up and running. They also had extensive training, including HIPAA, sexual harassment, ethics, and they're training 2 new part-time staff and 1 more volunteer. I'm going to pause for a second. Chris, how in depth is your update? I don't want to step on your toes if.
No, it's general numbers.
Okay. Won't give you update, please. I'll let Chris fill you on, please, if he misses anything. I'll go over that. And that's all I have for my manager's updates before we go to the financials.
You want Chris to come up now?
We can do the financial
Financials
ones
next.
Oh, okay. Oh, please, I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
So for the financials, what I want to kind of go over more so than so in front of you, you have the financial report, which is kind of the printouts from our financial software. But what I really want everyone to focus on is kind of the screen, if you can see it, which is our projections for the whole year. So what we're looking at right now, based on tentative projections, is the village ending the year in a small surplus around $30,000 before the audits. Obviously, during the audit, things get moved around, journal entries happen, but that's kind of what we're looking at right now. And to kind of go through the reasons why. And I first want to thank Ashley in the finance department. I created this document last year. I gave it to her and she's run with it and made it much better. She updates it every 2 weeks to save me time. So I want to thank her for all her hard work. The two things to highlight, one is on our employee healthcare costs. We're looking to be about $10,000 over budget. That's based mainly on when we created the budget last year, a lot of employees had single person healthcare. Some employees left. We hired new employees. They came on with a couple or family healthcare, so those costs just increased, which is just sometimes happens, unfortunately. Legal fees we're looking at to be about $41,000 over budget. That's partly due to we've had over 30 public records request acts come in just from January 1st till today. A lot of those have to go through legal guidance to see what we can and can't release. So that's where the cost increases right there.
I wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
So when you receive a public FOIA request, how many hours, how many pages? Can you give us a description of how much time and goes into something like that?
It depends. It could be quickly as Eric sent me the email you sent Lisa yesterday. And Lisa's, the email is, "Hi Lisa, how are you?" You know, nothing is redacted, so it's 2 seconds. Some can be up to 8-10 hours of work internally. It could be 5 hours of assistance from a law firm to help us go through and redact things that need to be redacted, have conversations over what should be redacted. So it really depends on the extent of the request. And, you know, I think what I'll say is there is a state statute that I think if you work over 30 minutes on a single request, you can then charge your time to that. But what people will do is send individual PRA requests, and therefore you're spending 25 minutes on each request, but because of individual requests, you may not be able to request your time. The tricky thing is for our staff is when you get a PRA request, you have 3 days to respond, or you can ask for an extension for 10 more days, but you're up against the clock immediately. So it does take up time, staff morale, and also costs associated with that.
Okay, thank you.
Eric, has there been an increase this year? It sounds like that's a big increase, or is this about average? I mean, we're
So-
40,000 over budget, so.
What I will say was there's been a substantial increase in the last 16 months.
Okay.
The first, I don't know, year of my time here, I think I might have had one, you know, and we've had over 130 in the last 16 months.
Okay.
Thank you.
Going through other things that to highlight over budget, there are a few things under law enforcement. Again, paid benefits, spoke to that a little bit earlier. You know, the weapons and maintenance line can be offset by the small tools line below that, so that's not really a concern. Uniform service is over budget. We had new staff come on board, so we had to get new uniforms for them. And then the training line is over budget. That's because we sent an officer to the academy this past summer. Now they're full-time certified. And then the other thing I really want to point out is over budget is the credit card meter charges, $22,000 over budget. And I'll say this probably till I die in this job. That's because we switched the way we're tracking expenses with parking meters. In previous years, we would recognize just the revenue that we ended up receiving from Park Mobile. What we're doing now is tracking the expenses we get charged by Park Mobile, and then tracking the overall revenue received as well. So that increase in expenses is offset by an increase in revenue you'll see on the parking revenue side of the reports.
Quick question as
yes.
well, Eric. On the revenue side, just because I'm learning the ins and outs, town services is significantly down. What are town services?
Yeah, so what that is, that's the contract between the town and the Village of Police Services. The town, the last contract between town and village moved it to a month-to-month payment. So this looks at that number is 6 or 7 months of payment. Barring for some reason the town canceling police searches between now and June 30th. That total number will be received by the village. Yeah. And I'll get to the revenue in a second. So that's kind of the highlights on the expense side of things. When you look at the revenue side, you know, short-term rentals down a little bit, but if you focus on kind of where the meat of your revenue is, which is police revenue, you throw in the extra police money from the town services, you're going to be completely at your projected number. And we're a few months behind on recons on these police numbers as well. So you're going to see a substantial increase in police revenue, I think, by June 30th, which will be very helpful for your overall line, but then also hopefully give you some leeway in what decisions to make for next year. That's it for me. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Got a few. You kind of answered one. I mean, we've talked about this before, the police revenue, moving violations being at basically 9%.
Yes, so
Instead of 80, we're at 83% of the year.
if I could interrupt for a second, I think Chris is going to talk about this, but
And I am too.
in March, the total amount of stops was revenue of $10,880. Not all that will stay with us. Some of that goes to the state, right, Chris? But you're going to be seeing a substantial increase in moving violation revenue from now.
On page 2,
East End revenue has come up. So has Pentago come through and paid us?
What I'll say is there was some outstanding payments due in that revenue and we received those payments.
We did. Okay, that's why that's come back up. Okay, that's good. That over on law enforcement. Oh, you answered about the uniforms. Dispatch services.
What page, Jeffrey?
This is on page 5, dispatch services under police communications. We're at 100% of the year's budget. What?
Yep, so Jeffrey, this is the allocation that the village sends over to the dispatch and to the town.
So.
Yeah, so.
That's been
Yeah,
fulfilled all the way.
people, in the audience online, the dispatch department falls underneath the town. But obviously the police department that falls into the village needs those services. So there's an allocation each year from the village to the town for those services.
Okay, last question is on page 6 on your building maintenance, just wondering, propane, electricity budgeted and 0 has been spent. Where is this being paid?
So Chief Green's ears are ringing. What has happened in the past is the fire department has, i.e. the town has covered all those expenses. Then the bill comes in, it's just paid by the fire department, and we never properly allocated a difference between the police department and the fire EMS department. Just because I think it's hard. I think it's one solid bill. So something we need to do going forward is actually allocate the costs appropriately between both departments.
Yeah, because this doesn't work.
No.
All right, those were my questions. Thank you.
Brenda? Stevens?
I do. Yeah, Barbara had asked this question about the town. I don't know if the town money, I don't know if you're prepared to, but where would she get that answer? Could she?
So I think Cliff Johnson has responded to that answer once on the listserv, but I think the select board is getting ready to answer that question in one of the upcoming
It
meetings.
seemed like a town question.
Yes.
Thank you.
Jamie?
No, I just had the one that I had asked. Thank you.
You're welcome. And next is our, go ahead.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say, because I know Jamie and Stephen are relatively new. If you ever want to set aside time to come in and talk to our finance director, I'm happy to make that connection for you. And you can kind of go over just a general financial budget for municipalities or any individual questions you have.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Police report? Please.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Chris O'Keefe, interim chief. But first, I'd like to address, there were comments about the police report to the athletes. So we speak to them once a week, every Tuesday. And it's fairly old fashioned, for better or worse, but they call us, we provide them with the police log for everything that happened during the week. Everything and nothing, and we go through that line by line and have a discussion of what those calls were, and it's up to them what they decide to put. But it's sometimes those conversations are 10 or 15 minutes. Oftentimes they've been 45 minutes or an hour, but we do speak to them on a weekly basis.
The Vermont Standard, correct?
Yes. Also, there was talk of trucks and speeding trucks. We do have roving patrols, specifically looking for that.
I would just flabbergasted because when I get to the old Bristol where the liquor store is now, I'm doing 25. When I get to the Pizza Hut, I look in my mirror and a log truck is passing me right there. And I'm going, at 7 o'clock in the morning?
And I will address that, but
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy with the traffic going through this town and going through as fast as it does.
I mean, as far as the truck carriers go, the big trucks, mostly the log trucks, it's the same 2 or 3 carriers that are in the Upper Valley, and we deal with them over and over and over and over.
And I'm surprised here at the end of the green. They need to put those arrows back, get those arrows painted again or something, because when you're putting up through on the far side and people are coming up to you on your left, when you get to the corner here and there's cars coming east,
Are those arrows the same as the signs that were, because I think that.
No.
No, they used to, yeah.
We took them
They're
out.
two separate things.
If I could just interrupt for a second, I think people online probably are probably having a hard time hearing the one-on-one conversation. So I think it might be best if interim chief gives his report. And then if he wants to follow up with them after the fact, we could.
That's fine.
All right. Moving on to traffic operations, we've greatly increased that. We conducted over 105 motor vehicle stops for the month of March. 64 of those stops resulted in tickets. The majority of those were for speeding. Most of them were for 40 miles per hour or more. More than several of those did involve tractor trailer units that were actually inspected. The majority of them were ticketed for speed, and a large majority were also ticketed for cell phone use. The other ones were general village ordinances for people not stopping in the crosswalk for pedestrians, making left-hand turns by the dummy there. That's really made up the bulk of those stops. Right now, for April, we're on pace to eclipse those numbers. So doing well in that department. We are right now working on online trainings. We did contract with a company to hold and retain all of our training records, and they also offer online training. So our folks are active in that. We roll those trainings out to everyone, all the officers, right now to 3 a month. So at the end of the year, folks should have a lot more training hours than we've had in the past. We also have our physical fitness standard test coming up soon. Everyone's so far signed up to take part in that, which is good. So everyone stays healthy. Also this month, we're working on our mandatory domestic violence training that's mandated by the state. Aside from that, business as usual. I know we have the contract to discuss about the cameras, but I'll refrain from that until we get there.
What about the, are you getting ready to roll out the scales for the trucks?
We are, so we're doing roving patrols twice a week, mainly focusing on that. One, it can be difficult. There's a lot of times where you get out of the car and then the one log truck that you wanted that, you know, is probably overloaded goes by and then it's gone. We do have a lot of trucks that go through. I do think some of that might be overplayed. We do have log trucks that are heavy. I know they're heavy because I was a DOT officer for 11 years, but I don't think it's as prevalent as it's probably made up to be. Oftentimes trucks look heavy and then you weigh them and they're well within the regulations. That being said, we are planning on weighing them. We would like to outfit one of the cruisers with a scale rack. So right now, if we want to weigh a truck, we have to wave them over, excuse me, and lead them to the public safety building and then go inside the garage, pull the scales out. It's very cumbersome. And it's then the person sitting there being stopped is sitting there for a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. So I'd like to outfit one of the cruisers with a rack so the scales can go directly in the car. And if we see someone that's overweight that we want to weigh, we can just do it right then and there and not have it be as cumbersome. There's a cost associated with that. However, I did talk to the highway department to see if they could possibly fabricate something for us.
Great, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Other questions, trustees? I have one.
Cover me.
I have one quick question. Can you just give us some examples of your online trainings that you've taken?
Yeah, it's everything. It's all encompassing. It's dealing with, people experiencing a mental health crisis, people, with disabilities, someone who could be armed with a weapon, de-escalation, et cetera. It's the whole gamut. And most of those trainings, some of them are only a half hour long, some of them are 2 hours long.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything
I
else?
don't think Chris said it, but there was 24 foot patrols in March. So
Oh, yeah, and
it's
the,
almost one a day.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. The, foot patrols, like, the manager said 24. Also, there were 267 total overall calls for the month of March. 144 of those were in the village and 123 of them were conducted in town.
Well done. Thank you. Thanks.
Chris.
Thank you.
And you'll be back.
Yes.
Okay, we're heading into permits.
There we go.
Is anyone in the room or on Zoom to represent St. James Fair permit? Please come up.
Awesome.
Can you give us your name?
Yes, my name is Emily Mooney, and I'm sort of the head of the St. Louis Fair this year.
Okay,
So we've done our permitting process.
Any changes from last year? Okay.
do the trustees have any questions?
Love the St. James Fair. So, not a question.
Questions or comments, right?
Just a comment. Then insurance, it must be on file.
It's on file, yeah. They can't come before here without you. Or they get removed, you know.
Okay,
All right,
there you go.
all right.
I would make a motion to approve the permit as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Looking forward to it.
Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to it is right.
We have.
Yes.
Always
Thank you,
do.
Emily.
Jim, we have you a Memorial Day and Veterans Day parade.
Hey, I'm Jim Ford, for the RIE Paul American Legion. Yes, we would like to have again a Memorial Day and Veterans Day parade.
Again, any changes from, these have been
Same thing.
every year. It's like,
We've actually, the Memorial Day, we've shortened
it.
less people.
Yeah. But one is still about 100 and one is about half that, about 100 people, and one's about half that.
I would love it if we did, but I would guess we'd be a little less than that.
Okay.
Jim, how many years? You told me the other day.
It has to have been going for 100 years.
That's great.
Okay, so we do need to have a discussion. We've made a decision.
Do we do them separately or?
No, this is a different discussion. We made a decision last year for anyone who has a parade to help participate in the cost of the police. So we did make a decision and it was a hard decision to make. So I'm opening it up for discussion for these two parades, trustees.
I think that when we were discussing that, these were two of the ones that I recommended that we not charge for police service, as opposed to the larger ones which produce funds for those who are putting the parades on. So I don't think we should be charging for these two particular ones.
Is the police service for traffic control?
Yes, and and so I'm not sure how many officers. The cost I would assume is maybe $500.
So I just talked to interim chief. It would be 4 officers for 3 hours, but on time and a half. He expressed his desire to not charge the veterans for the parade. That would be like, so once you call them in, they're set fee.
Okay. Right.
Jim, this isn't the money, this is just a parade to celebrate.
Yes.
So this is.
Memorial Day is to
No, right.
celebrate.
I just want to be clear, this is not a fundraising like some of the other parades that
Right.
we'll be looking at.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're looking at this now as a case by case.
Yep, gotcha.
So, there's quite a few that do need to pay, but
Oh, yes.
I'm coming to all of you to say, what is your, Brenda? Do you have an opinion? A thought?
I agree that we should let them have it for free. But I do feel that we need to be consistent with how we do the charging. Even if it was maybe a minimal, like, let's just say $100 to cover something. I don't know, but I feel it's a really good, worthwhile thing to do. But I do feel that we need to have consistency.
Jamie?
I would be inclined to say not charge, but if we were to put some sort of nominal fee in, that it would be something we'd have to create and come up with.
I agree with that.
This particular
Not this particular time, but
time.
discuss it in the future? Or do you want to do it this particular?
No, I think that, I just think that we need to be aware of consistency, that's all.
Okay. All right. So, is there any other questions the trustees have?
Nope.
Right. Is there a motion to approve the Memorial Day and Veterans Day Parade?
So moved.
Can I make a,
Yeah.
do you want to make the motion
Right.
with waiving the cost?
Okay, yeah. Is there a motion to waive the costs?
So
Yes, motion to waive the costs for both Memorial and Veterans Day parades.
Is there
A
a second?
second.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Is there a motion to give a parade permit on Memorial Day and Veterans Day? Oh, I thought you did it for waiving the fee.
That's to waive the fee.
That
Oh,
was to
just to waive the fee?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was for both.
yeah.
Motion to,
I
for
second,
the permits.
Yeah.
I second.
All in favor?
aye,
Any opposed? No, motion
Thanks.
carries. Thank you.
thanks for doing.
Maybe over the year, we can talk more about that,
Thank you.
right,
for coming.
in preparation for next year.
Have a good vacation. Be
Thank you,
safe.
Jim.
All right, Proudy is not here. I got an
All right,
email.
yeah, so you might just let people know that we're gonna move that to the next month.
And then we have East End Park.
Lisa, you want to just announce that you're gonna move the pretty permit to the next month? if they're not
Okay, we'll be moving the Proudy Ultimate Parade permit till next month, the May agenda.
There we go.
We have a hand up, by the
here.
way.
Green, she's
Oh, okay.
for the next
All
permit.
All right, let us know who you are.
My name is Deb Green. I'm with Pentangle. We're presenting for Music by the River for the summer concert series. And thank you very much. We did take care. Apparently, there was a bill that fell through the cracks last year. We have a check ready for you that we can hand to Eric tomorrow morning if this is approved. This is our regular Music by the River, free to the public, every Friday night in July and August.
So any of the trustees have any questions?
Any changes this year?
No, not really. Last year we had some more food and more drink. There's one band that we might actually have people reserve for, so we know that there's enough space in case there's a rain, call to bring it to the theater. But no, it's the same concert. And we have the insurance, everything ready to go in the check.
One of the highlights of the summer in Woodstock. It's a really wonderful thing that Pentangle puts on those Friday nights.
Thank you.
Although I hurt my knee one year dancing so hard. But
Was that with me or your wife?
that's with my wife.
Yeah, you guys are pretty good. Yeah.
So if there's no changes, I would
Yeah, it
make a
sounds
motion
great.
to approve the permit at the same fee as last year.
That would be lovely. We would really appreciate that. It's a heavy lift for us, so that would be great.
Okay, at the same fee as last year.
I believe it's $1,200.
Okay, all
What?
right.
$1,200.
$1,200. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
that's
there
my
a
motion.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Looking forward to it. First one too.
Motion carried.
Thank you all. Just so you know, the first one is on July 3rd, and we will have a big choir for the 4th of July weekend. So we'll have some great community members to start before the band starts. So that will be fun on July 3rd. Thank you.
And that's actually the kickoff for the 250th weekend celebration that the community's putting together. So I want to thank Penn Handles for being a part of that as well.
Yeah. Who's the band, July? Who's that band? The first band?
It's a guy named Mark Berger. He's just good old, Americana. He's played here before about 5 years ago.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Right on.
Super cool. Thank you all.
So next is the planning commission appointment. Is Kate Harvey here? Hi.
Aye.
And the select board approved you already, correct?
No.
Okay.
Next week.
Okay, that's my mistake.
All right. So Kate, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I grew up in New Hampshire and I spent the last 25 years in a megapolis in Southern California. But I am a New Englander at heart, I suspect. So I recently moved to Woodstock this year. I am a landscape architect and I still commute to Los Angeles. But I spoke with Laura Powell and I spoke with Sarah Tucker and I asked them, how can I get involved? And they said there was an appointment open on the planning commission and I would love to fill that seat. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
So have you attended any of their meetings?
I have, yes.
How many?
I attended one in person and one on Zoom.
Okay, and have you also read through what they've been working on?
The bylaws, yes, I have read through parts of the bylaws, not the entire book, though. It's a lot of detailed work.
It is.
It is. It's very detailed.
Yeah.
Are you going to?
Well, if you appoint me, then I will be happy to do my homework. Yes.
Anybody have any questions? Any board member?
No. I have a question. About
Sure.
what this board- So you're aware that the next step for them is to work on the town plan and you're
Yes.
comfortable with that? Okay.
Yes.
So nothing easy.
No,
No.
yeah, they're just finished up the
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 village.
village.
Yeah. All right. So is there a motion to appoint Kate Harvey to the planning commission?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Welcome and
Yes,
congratulations.
Yeah,
Good,
thank you.
good luck and
Welcome to
thank you.
Woodstock. Yeah.
Is there a
Right.
term on that?
The next thing is, this was actually my idea. I just brought it up because we had a change with the guard. Everything okay?
No, I had a question about term limits.
Okay. All right. So do you want to answer that? Term limits?
Yeah, she'll be appointed, I think, until our town meeting of next year and then eventually reappointed by both boards.
All right. So this was my idea, but I don't know how anyone feels because it's a new trustee board, whether we want to stay at 6:30 for our meeting or move to 6 o'clock. And so I'm going to leave this open. I know Jeffrey and Brenda, just go ahead and,
Well, I'd like to say that for many, many years, for a few decades, actually, the trustees met at 7 o'clock.
Mm.
And it's just in recent years that we moved it to 6:30. And I personally would like to stay at 6:30 for a couple of reasons. That I'd like to speed home and have quick dinner. That would make that more difficult with my work hours. And in the summertime, my work hours are extended. I wouldn't even, it'd be very hard to even make it on time if we moved it to 6 o'clock. So I would prefer to keep it where it's at.
I kind of followed Jeffrey a little bit. I think it would be really tight and stressful to get here for 6 o'clock. And unless we're serving dinner, I need to eat. So I have to eat before I come.
Well, you could just bring positive pie on the way over, you know, you have to.
yeah, you can pick it up for us.
I just have to eat.
I've got no preference. So if I would defer to people that are constrained by their work or. So I would definitely defer to you.
Yeah.
6:30 seems a very reasonable time.
Yeah, thank you for your consideration.
Jamie?
Same for me. I think, sounds like it used to be 7. That seems too late. 6:30 seems to be a good time for everybody. So.
I think 6:30 works.
Okay.
So, no motion, nothing.
No,
There's
no,
no
we
change.
just, I don't have to say anything, right?
You can table the motion.
Table the motion.
Yeah, the item, sorry.
Okay. The next, Chris, come on back up. We have the police contract vote.
Yeah, so I think interim chief came in front of the board a month or two ago with this contract. The board's recommendations was for him to look at, get at least another quote or two. He spent the last month and a half getting at least one more quote. They're both in your packet, and I'll leave it to Chris.
Okay, so I've spoken with everybody either collectively or individually at some point about the contract. We do have 2 quotes. There was a little bit of a bidding war. One company is Motorola, who everyone's probably heard of from one thing or another. They make phones and everything else. The other company is Axon, who we actually currently do business with. Motorola actually came in lower, and then I was able to get Axon to meet them. We'd like to go with Axon. They already have our TASER contract. So I'd like to try to keep everything in-house and uniform and not have multiple billing. Plus, they both offer pretty robust wraparound care. However, Axon has a policy, if something needs to be replaced or if it breaks, they just send out a new unit. Cops are inherently really hard on equipment. If something can break, it probably will. Our folks are pretty cautious about trying to maintain their equipment and not break things, but just the nature of the work, these things happen. So they offered 24/7 care. If I were to go out in the parking lot and drop my camera and a truck were to go and drive over it, they would replace it immediately. Everything is in the cloud. So what would happen is there would be a cradle point. They're calling it a cradle point. It's a docking station. It's mounted to the wall in the police station. It looks like this. When you start your shift, you take the camera, you put it on your person. And when you're done with your shift, you take it off and put it back in the cradle point, and all that data, everything you did that day goes right to the cloud.
Oh, cool.
That will also significantly cut down Michelle Sutherland, our administrator's time. I'd say the biggest thing, in addition to helping us out with new equipment, because these are obsolete, and for folks that didn't get to hear the last time, the reason why we're doing this is because our equipment is obsolete. When I spoke to Axon the last time, these units are no longer serviceable. We have them, a few of them, they're literally on life support. They're falling apart. I can't fix it. It's not anything that anyone in this room, unless they're mechanically inclined, would be able to fix. So the time is up. That's why we're doing this. But like I said, the new ones will all go to the cloud, and Michelle's time will be cut down. I would at least by 2/3, if not more. Right now, when we have to send out discovery for court cases, or there's freedom requests, or whatever the case may be, we have to give this to Michelle. She mines through the data, downloads it to a computer, takes that data, puts it on a DVD, and then mails it. It's not efficient use of her time or our time or anybody's time, really. Now with this new product, we'll have 3 licenses to use. So Michelle will have her own computer to use, and myself and the sergeant, and we'll be able to access any of this data as soon as it's in the cloud. We can go on and watch it, send it. So for peer review or for officer feedback or complaints, we can just go on now and click on a line item and watch it and review it and not have to go through this whole rigmarole. That's really the meat and potatoes why we're doing this. So that being said, the contract is for $88,201.96. It's over the course of 5 years. When the 5 years is up, we would renew a contract. But it wouldn't be as cumbersome. They could more likely not, in talking to them, they'd just be able to ship us out new cameras as opposed to a complete replacement, because this also counts for the cars too. Our cruisers, those cameras are even more dated than these. So part of the service is Axon coming to us, removing all the old equipment from the cars, taking these and installing all the new equipment. So the cruiser cameras will also all be cloud. Everything is cloud-based. All the data retention, the storage, it's all encompassing. That being said, I did write a letter to the Dorothy Byrne Foundation. They were kind enough to send us a $15,000 grant as a gift to help pay that down. And I did write a grant through the Small Rural Tribal Police Grant Program for $50,000. That's a match. We won't know. I did write to them last week to see where they were in their process. I probably won't know the answer to that till some point over the summer. So if we were awarded that, it would be another $50,000, which would bring the cost down significantly. And we did budget already for this, so that's it.
So this is a budgeted item. You just have to come to us because it's a figure above.
Correct.
So it's
Is
a,
it 10,000 or whatever?
it's a budgeted item in next year's budgets. By agreeing to a contract, you're locking in a 5-year budget process for these for the next 5 years. That's why it's in front of you.
Gotcha.
A question about, should have asked this earlier, but we have at most 13 officers. But if the department's
Really, so we have 6 full-time officers and we have 3 part-time officers.
right. Okay, I thought we had more part-time. 6 full-time and 3 part-time. How many, that's 9. How many cameras are in this budget?
Good question. I budgeted for 10. So each officer will be assigned their own camera. Plus, we anticipate hiring another part-time officer. Also, when we bring on board a parking attendant, they'll be issued a body camera as well. So the thinking in that is that'll leave us with 1 extra camera in case something where it's for incidentals. If something happens and we do need it swapped out right away, they can just go in and take it until the new one arrives. So it gives us wiggle room to have that 1 extra camera.
So are you
You
saying?
don't want to start cross using cameras. You know, I'm not going to give my camera to somebody else to use. They're going to be assigned to you individually.
Why couldn't you amongst like the part-timers?
It just gets a little messy, and plus their name, unit number is assigned to that digitally. So when, like right now, if you were to download my camera, it's going to have my name, unit number, GPS coordinates. It's going to have all that information on there. So it's individually assigned. If I say, for the sake of argument, if I let the sergeant borrow it, goes to court, it's going to have my name on it, and then you're going to have to explain that.
But I think also too, just in the worst case scenario where we have 5 officers responding to something, you don't want 1 officer without a body camera because someone else was using the net before and they get it back. Well, I mean, you want to make sure that worst case scenario, everyone has a body camera on them.
Body cameras don't go home with the officer,
No.
do they?
No, they don't. They go into the cradle point, the docking station
Right.
in the station.
We have 2 officers sharing the same camera and they both have to respond at the same time to something. One of them may not have a camera on them.
Right. It's just not really designed to set up to share. The cars you can, because in the car, in the cruisers, you can actually go in and manually change the officer. So when someone starts their shift, there's a button, an icon on the camera that you press, and you can select who you are.
We only have one per car, right?
One per car,
No extras.
no extras. But with these body cameras, you don't have the ability to do that.
And the car has, the one in the car has a GPS.
They do, yes. They don't, it doesn't have a GPS tracker, but it does have GPS coordinates. So when you're reviewing something, you can pull the latitude and longitude and pinpoint where the person was.
Right, because we talked about,
Yes.
for instance, in the town, wondering, okay, how many times has the town is the town being covered, and where's the officer? While he's in the town.
Right.
Opposed to the village.
Yeah, and with the ability to review this, we'll be able to do that. Also, I didn't mention too, this has some limited AI capabilities to it. It has a redaction technology in there too. So if you want to go in and enter someone's home and there was a child or something, you could have the ability to blur out faces and et cetera.
Oh, that's good.
For privacy concerns.
You guys have any other questions? Comments?
It sounds like the biggest gain in this is the efficiency, right? In terms of being able to
Yeah,
email a
efficiency.
video versus having to place it in the mail and ship it, but then after you put it on a DVD and.
Yes, yeah, efficiency, and also it is mandated too. It's mandated by the state that we have this by the Criminal Justice Training Council, and it's our policy too, departmental policy that will have body cameras. And some of them in the car, I mean, they're past their point.
And so right now, the total comes down to 73,000 and some change with the 15,000 that you.
Correct. Right. And then with the possibility of the grant, and I wish I had a date for that, but we just don't know that yet.
And we appreciate the fact
Yeah,
that
that'd
you
be
are
great.
aggressive with grants. That is wonderful. Any bit helps. Questions again? No?
The question online, what's the board
Sure.
done? Is the board done discussing?
We're done.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I think it's Jim Otranto.
Hey, Jim,
Can you hear us? Your hand is raised, Jim?
Stepped away.
Oh, they just muted themselves.
All right.
are you muted or?
Ask one more time to unmute themselves.
Jim, did you have a question for us?
I think that's Barbara.
Oh, it's Barbara.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's Barbara.
Okay, well, Barbara
They're
then.
both on.
I think we gotta move on.
Okay, so
let's move on.
I guess, is there a motion to agree to the contract? Is that how I word it, Eric?
Well, it depends. You can ask if there's a motion on the item.
Wendy has it.
I didn't realize we could ask questions, but
Yeah.
I do have one.
I'm sorry, Wendy, could you just come
Oh,
up and,
sorry. Thank you.
you should know by now, come on.
Just getting comfortable. Wendy Marinan, village resident. My question is about the cloud and if the contract covers the expense. I mean, I assume there's a lot of data. On a very personal level, I keep getting asked to pay more for my cloud storage. It's probably true for everyone. And I'm just wondering if that's a hidden cost or if that's part of the contract or how that you see that, because that's going to be, a lot of data.
It is a lot of data, and it is
Data,
included in the data. It is included in the contract.
Oh.
So they can't, when you're in year 3 of the 5 years, they can't change that or increase it. We're locked in.
Right.
But in full transparency, after the contract's over, they could for renewal. We
Right,
don't know
but
that
you
yet.
would
Yes.
make that decision then.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, and at
Or
that
how we
point,
do it, what we
we're
do.
kind of back to where we are today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
He's on.
Yep. Jim?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, your name and where you're located?
Jim Otranto, I'm in Woodstock. Chris,
Hi, Jim.
how you doing? The traffic signs, the speed signs, as long as everybody's here. Remember you had mentioned that we have me take a look at the speed signs that weren't working?
Oh, yes, thank you. Yes, I had asked Jim to take a look at the, we have a number of electronic speed signs in town and the village that are defunct. And I was looking at getting those online and running again. So Jim was kind enough to explore taking a look at seeing what was wrong with them. I don't know if that's something that's appropriate for right now.
It's not on the agenda, so we should
We'll-
probably.
We'll bring it up
It's
next.
something we're very interested in, Jim. We're aware that there are a number of them that are non-functional.
Yeah.
Right, well, next time, just bring it up and, because I can do them,
Yeah.
any,
We'll put it
look
in
at them.
next month then.
Yep. Yeah, we'll put that on the agenda for next month.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
That's great.
We did do a very general explore of that, and they are at the signs themselves. I thought that maybe it could have been online or conduit or just weathered, but the actual signs themselves aren't working.
Right.
Okay.
South Woodstock. I mean,
South Woodstock, the one here.
by the golf course. That one.
There's 3 of them total that don't work. Yes.
So Eric, can you help me with the words for the contract?
Yeah, so I mean, you can make the motion yourself or you could ask if everyone wants to make a motion.
Does anyone want to make a motion about approving the police camera contract
I make a motion to approve the police camera contract as presented.
as presented?
I
Does the motion
second.
need to be
Well,
specific to
yeah.
the vendor?
Yeah, with the correct vendor. With this Axon.
With Axon, it was presented that Axon is what, yes, with the Axon contract.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you, Chris.
I'll let them know tomorrow, and hopefully they can be online for June. That's.
Keep us updated.
Thank you.
All right, so Eric, this was yours. Oh, no, the 33 Central. Can you,
Yeah, I think that's the people
Pretty
online,
straightforward.
but just kind of for a background. The people who bought 33 Central need to put a tank underground for their pizza ovens. They came in front of the trustees a few times last year. You approved the easement in theory. They came back to us a little bit later, just having to change the location a little bit more to the west, I believe. And so what I sent over to you the other day is the new agreement that just has a new location on it. Everything else remains the same for this approved last year. But Eliza's on, and I think Vlad's on. So I don't know if I missed anything, Eliza or Will, if you want to, or if that's a good summary.
I have a question though for Eliza about this.
I'm sorry, I'll let Eliza unmute herself.
Thank you.
Yeah, Eliza, when we did this, we were anticipating a pizza restaurant, and these were going to be for the pizza ovens.
Mhm.
And now that's no longer within your plans, is my understanding. So can you update us why we would need to do this if there's no restaurant going into that location?
Yeah, correct. The original purpose is to be a restaurant, and for that reason, that's something that we need to install. But it's also important for the building as well. There's no space in the rear to put individual propane tanks because there's just no space for it because the ramp is in the rear. So in any case, the whole plan is for it to be a restaurant.
It's still your plan for it to be a restaurant?
No, we are hoping that it will be a restaurant. We are hoping that a new tenant will come in and it will be a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And would this be for the apartments or whatever are gonna be above it as well? Is that correct? Is that what I heard you say? For the whole
No,
building, or-
it has nothing to do with the residents above. We're just talking about the first floor and the basement level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two commercial spaces.
I'm still concerned because if you don't you may not end up with a restaurant. Is that correct?
Can I ask somebody to please unmute my brother?
Who's that?
William Ladd.
Because one thing,
hold on.
okay, but, I can unmute him, but I'm gonna add on to what I just said. We are losing, everyone understands, we're losing 2 full parking spaces in that lot with this
No,
easement.
No, we're not. We're not losing any.
You're not losing any. While we are doing construction to install the tank, yes, there is going to be a limited period of time when there are going to be a couple parking spaces that are going to be dug up so we can get the tank in the ground. But once construction is finished, once we've got the tank in the ground, you're not going to lose any parking spaces.
So that's a change, because previously there were bollards.
There's gonna be, so the goal is they're taking a parking spot up, but the space on the most east parking spot where there was a blank space, that's gonna be a parking space now too. So there will be, you kind of just trading where the parking space is gonna go. So there will be another parking spot there on that side.
So we don't lose a parking space.
Correct. You do not lose a parking space.
Basically,
Okay.
we're using the space that's currently not a parking space. That is just going to be sort of slid over, same shape, same size, just in a slightly different location. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Trustees, do we have any other questions?
No, I mean, if it's gonna help a new business. We can hope
Linda,
for fingers
Jeffrey?
crossed,
No,
yeah.
no, that was my question.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
So do I read this now? Or do
Yeah,
I-
so just so everyone, because this is a legal issue, there's language from an attorney on how best the trustee should make this motion. So Lisa will kind of read what that motion will look like. And then just for, if it's approved, it's a 30-day period where residents can petition. And if it's not, there's another language to do 30 days afterwards for the trustees.
Okay, do I say, is there a motion or do I just head right into it?
So
I'm a rookie, sorry, people.
So in the language, I hereby move to approve the sale, that'll be the motion.
Okay. Having seen and reviewed the notice of sale of municipal real estate for the proposed convenience of an easement to Amos and Ginger LLC and the proposed quitclaim easement deed for such convenience, I hereby move to approve the notice of sale of municipal real estate in substantially the form presented at this meeting and direct the village clerk to post and publish the notice as required by law. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There you go, guys.
And we hope you do get a restaurant.
Yeah,
That's the hope. That's the goal.
good
Well,
luck.
keep us
Thank you.
updated, please.
Thank
Please
you.
keep
We
us
will, of
updated.
course. Absolutely.
All right,
Thanks, bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
thank you. Okay, our next is, for some reason, Eric seems to think he can go on vacation, so we have to change our May meeting.
Yeah, so your original May meeting would have been on the 12th. I am leaving on the 5th midday, and we'll be back until the 19th, 20th of May. So I don't know if you want to do May 4th, or if you want to wait until later in May. Whatever works best for the trustees. Or I could have, or if you want, Stephanie could potentially attend and staff the meeting for you.
I think May 4th would work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
May 4th to Monday,
yep.
Yeah, May 4th.
What time?
6:30.
Unless you're serving dinner.
Wendy has it.
Wendy?
I just wanted to bring to your attention that my understanding is the planning commission's having their public hearing on May 6th. So then it would go to the
June meeting.
June meeting. Is that what you already said?
I would, the thought was be the May meeting, but
Right,
if
I just wanted to clarify that.
the alternative, the trustees could have a special meeting if they wanted to,
Okay.
before the June meeting, depending on how sensitive.
Okay, our next thing is,
So was there a motion for that change?
oh, is there a motion to change the meeting
So
date
moved
to?
to change the meeting date from May, to May 4th for our monthly meeting, 6:30.
Second.
They'll approve.
All in favor?
All in
Aye.
favor? Aye. Boy, I'm getting tired. Okay, motion passed. Next is the White Cottage Food Truck Parking Spots Approval. So what we're doing here is just approving the White Cottage to have this three spots, 2 spots, 3 spots. that they had.
Last year. Like cottage.
Yeah.
Those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, two.
Right. So they do pay for the parking spots. And they pay ahead of time. They also pay for the electricity from the chamber.
Yes, and they also carried out their own trash. I believe.
Trash, and they are,
John, I asked John to be here.
Is there anybody here? Yeah.
I don't think he's online. He's not.
So should we hold?
Well, it's kind of
late if we
It's
hold
timely.
another month. Yeah.
timely. I will also, just so everyone's aware, he wants to change the dates. Last year it was Thursday through Monday, and this year he wants it to be Friday through Monday, deleting Thursday.
Okay.
That's better. I guess the one thing I'd say, there are more opportunities to eat in town now. Positive Pie, Farmer in the Bell, Ranch Camp.
We're talking about
No.
people who are actually in the village
I know.
and not going anywhere. So the buses,
Yeah, the foot traffic.
foot traffic.
I don't know. I just wonder how our local brick and mortar folks are feeling. They don't seem to be hurting for business. I get it, especially on Monday when everything's closed.
It's also during high season. This is only for summer to foliage,
So starts
when we
June.
have busier times.
So starts in June?
Yeah.
Does start in June.
Yes.
Good.
And then over the
Into
course of,
October.
into fall, we also have not-for-profit groups and for-profit groups who bring food.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think
So,
one more thing too. I think I see Scott and Kim Smith online. And Scott and Kim, if you want to speak, just raise your hand. I don't know if last year if there was a motion for them not to sell ice cream, or
Yes.
if you agreed not to sell ice
Yes,
cream,
that-
but
it's the same agreement.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
no ice cream will be served.
absolutely.
Have we already discussed, if I missed it, I apologize, but the process of if another local business wants to bring a food truck in?
We have not discussed that yet. So this is specifically for that one, and we can have that discussion another time. That falls under the peddler's license. But this is for one that, and he invested a lot of money in this truck, and he's a good taxpayer
And there's a
here.
precedent.
He's a very strong business holder, has a business, a food business, so. So, does anyone have any other questions, comments? All right. All right, is there, pardon?
To see if anybody in the public had any comments about this one.
See
Nope.
anything? No. Is there a motion to approve the White Cottage food truck parking spot approval?
I would make a motion to approve the same location as last year for
From Friday through.
Friday to Monday, from June to October.
Is there a second?
Second. But what about like latter October?
It's up to him when he wants to. Usually ends the second week in October. So,
I just want to make sure the foliage season is well tended to.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where we make money.
Is there a second?
Second.
Do you want to speak? I'm sorry.
Nope.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. So next is me. So recently there have been some requests for information online. I've received some emails. And in talking to Eric and the trustees, there are some that we can currently answer now. So I will answer them. Hopefully give the best answers I can. One of these has already been discussed, but I will go back and say again, that in March, and it was half of the month of March, there was 110 stops, 64 tickets, and 38 warnings. Speeding and distracted driving was the number one. They are doing targeted stops. I'm sure some of you people have now seen them around the village. They also like to be at Central and Elm. And they've caught a whole bunch of people turning left onto Central Street, which is wonderful. I collapse because I work at Danforth, but anyways. And they are continuing to raise this. And I think it's a significant development in the department, and we are very thankful and appreciative that we are bringing this here. The next thing is crosswalks. And so I know the crosswalks need to be painted. We are aware of that, and DPW is lining up a vendor now to do the painting for this year, and we're waiting for bids.
Oh, and we're also just waiting for the weather to turn. We're just afraid it's a little too soft on the road with the weather coming this weekend.
Right, so they'll be in soon. I know that was a couple of people's. Roger?
Roger Logan, Woodstock. I think this is probably a town thing rather than a village thing because it would involve the highway department. But I think it's time to admit that the plows scrape off the crosswalks and there should be signs at every single crosswalk. I know some people don't like the way it looks, but there should be signs at every single crosswalk. If you don't live here, a bunch of these crosswalks, you wouldn't even know were there. So I think it's just time to bite the bullet and put up some signs. I don't mean the flashing ones because that's pretty ugly, but just the triangular or the diamond shaped signs that have a crosswalk sign on them. I mean, it's one thing to keep up the paint, but we all know the paint's going to be gone at the end of every winter.
Yeah.
Or enough of it not to, I don't know if there's better technology that could be embedded in the street more aggressively, and that may be a state thing. I don't know. Anyway.
It's not a bad idea, and maybe it's also could be done seasonally. Like you said, in the winter when the crosswalks are not as visible.
Yeah.
Put them up at that time until it's repainted. Less in the summer, it's pretty obvious after they've been painted.
Peggy, would you like to come up?
Peggy Fraser, Woodstock Village. I think that was an excellent idea, but I also wonder, have you consulted with other communities that have the same weather conditions that we have? Even maybe in Hanover, New Hampshire and so forth, are they using better paint? It seems to me it's not even a seasonal thing. It disappears pretty quickly in many cases. And as you say, if you didn't know it was there, like you're just driving through, especially when it's dark, you wouldn't know. So just wondering if the quality of the paint itself or something could be improved upon.
Thank you.
I'll look into that.
And maybe consult with other communities.
Yeah.
Eric,
Yeah,
Thanks,
good
you look
question.
into that, Eric?
I will, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so any other online? So on the village design advisory updates, at this time, the zoning, planning commission did the zoning regulations for the village, and there's going to be a public hearing and then brought to the trustees. There'll be a recommendation in that report as to whether we want to continue with design advisory board, or if we want to merge the two committees together. So that's where we're at. We're going to take public comment, we're going to read the report, and then the decision will be made from there.
I just clarify that?
Absolutely.
So I think two things. One, I want to thank everyone's patience on design advisory board being unfilled right now. I think that the goal has always been to see what the planning commission is going to recommend. And then based on what they recommend, if they were, and I believe the current bylaws have design advisory still existing. And so once people know what the expectation is of that board, then advertise those openings so people know what the board's going to be like, so they know how to serve on it. The bylaws will lay out what the planning commission recommends. Don't Lisa's points. You are the legislative body of the municipality, so if you want to change anything in the bylaws, you can, as long as you work with the planning commission. So they recommend this design review board still exists and you decide you don't want it to exist, it's up to you to make those final decisions. But that's kind of how it'll shape out.
And that's in May or in June? Or further out than that?
They're gonna have their public hearing in May, and then your next available meeting, they'll bring it to you.
June.
Yeah.
Do we receive this before the May meeting? Because it's
No,
done.
because in theory, they have to have the public hearing first before it comes to you. But it will be available during that public hearing for anyone to review.
Okay. All right. So the last thing is I was asked the accounts payable process. So conferring with different people, here's what happens. Departments receive bills. They review their bills to make sure they're correct. If they're correct and they put them to the appropriate departments, they go to Robert, our finance director. Robert reviews them again and sends them to Patricia, who writes out the warrants. After the warrants are written by department, and there's the town, the village, water, and sewer, correct? And then it goes to Eric for review. At that point, the warrant comes back to the finance office. Nothing can be done until either the chair of the trustees or the chair of select board sign the warrants. So we were the last reviewer. The checks go to Eric to sign.
The clerk to sign.
The clerk to sign, sorry. And at that point, the trustees also receive the checks, the warrants in online and review them at least twice a month. I don't know if you guys have gotten one yet. You will be. Yeah, you will be. So there's a lot of steps there to make sure that everything's done correctly. And I feel it's a good system, but if we ever need improvement, we can talk about it. But I feel there's enough checks and balances here to make sure everything's done correctly.
The warrant is considered an invoice, essentially, right?
The warrant is the actual ledger of payments for that pay period.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's all invoices that we're paying out that week.
Okay, so it's like a manifest or ledger of.
Yes, correct. And just the select board voted on accounts payable procedure recently, and that's on our website as well. So if people want to see the procedure laid out, it's been voted on by the select board and it's up on our website.
All right. So next, I'm not sure what the discussion about the peddler's license is, that we're just working on it internally.
Yeah, well, the discussion has been that this is the next ordinance that the trustees want to take up. You know, I know, I think Wendy Spector's online. She had some thoughts as well, but I don't know if you want to discuss going forward with the ordinance, if you want to hold off on it, if you want to designate someone to work on it. I think it's up to.
There's a lot of work to be done on it.
Yes.
No.
There's not as much as like the parking because there's minimal state and local laws. But it is a discussion worth having around what we want to do in the future regarding peddlers. You know, the ordinance is very old. You know, they're still selling door to door there. It also goes to the chief of police for approval. And so I looked at different ordinances around the state. They're all different. They all do it differently. I mean, some of them do criminal records checks. So Rutland, which I find interesting. So at this point, I guess the question is, I mean, I can work with somebody on it in the process if someone wants to work with me on it.
In fact, I think one of the real issues I have is there's no ordinance that dictates food trucks in the village.
Correct. So I think that it would be good if we started working on it. Does anybody on the trustees have a little time for that?
I'll work with you on it.
Okay, Jeffrey will. And then if we come up with a draft, then we can give it to the public for comment. Is that, and then go from there?
I suggest a different name. I don't think there are like guys with push carts out there anymore.
That's what they were named after.
What's the name? Give us a name.
Yeah, give us a name and we'll be happy.
Marketing committee, man. The marketing committee, come on.
Come on, you think about it. Give us a name. Yeah. Okay, so we will work on it this month and table it and discuss it next month, add to the agenda. Okay, so the next thing is, a discussion to have permits, banner approval be done administratively and not have to come to the trustees for approval. It's a very simple process. They've got it down pat. And I don't think there's a reason why we need to approve it unless there's something important that needs to happen. We can see them. We have our online page, or we can see where all the banners are and what's coming up on Outlook. So
I agree with that for banners. That's a very easy one to turn over, I think. However, for other permits, for use of the green, parades, I think that still needs to come before us. And
Okay.
there've been instances where things have changed through that discussion of what people want to do in our presence. So that's more complex than picking dates for banners.
yeah, and I think this is only really just about banners. What?
Oh, okay.
It's just only banners, the permits for banners to do administratively.
Okay.
Permits
Um,
for banners.
Permits for banners.
I
I'm
misread it.
sorry.
I thought you were mentioning
No,
permits.
No,
Okay.
permits for banners.
Okay, that's a lot easier. You're right.
Yep. So, yeah, we
I
can,
think that's a good idea.
No, they're only designated places right now, the banners.
our two spots,
To enter the green?
On the green, yeah. And
there's the one in the center of town too.
that is not the official
Banner.
banner spot. Yeah, I think you allow Pride to use that spot, but typically there's no rules.
Yeah, that wouldn't fall under the same
Right.
administrative approval.
Yeah, that'd be different, yeah. Yeah, so this is, usually people that have events get to put a banner up, I think a week ahead of time. I don't know if it's Thursday, something like that. Currently it comes from the trustees for a vote. Internally, Kitty kind of does most of the work to make sure there's a spot available for them. She has a calendar. So this is just, instead of having a vote by this board, it'd be like a sidewalk permit where I could just sign up administratively if there's a spot for them and if the banner fits the requirements.
So this requires a question.
Yes.
Is it possible? This is the appropriate time to ask those questions.
Come on up.
I have one concern.
Just say your name
Oh,
again,
sorry.
sorry.
My name's Wendy Marinan, I'm a village resident, and regarding the banners and taking it out of your purview, is, and going on more automatic, is that there's a bigger sense of all the things that are going on, that you all have perspective wise, that I would hate to lose that insight in this, checklist online process. Nothing against the efficiency of, it's not about efficiency, it's about having a bigger picture look at everything that's going on. Because ultimately, this is one of your biggest roles, as far as I've noticed, is keeping tabs on all the activities in the village.
And the administration has put on this phenomenal monthly calendar for us, tells us what banners are going when, what events. So we have an actual Outlook calendar that we can look up and see all that. So we have a way to watch it.
I'm talking about the bigger sense of community and efforts that are going on, and maybe there's some complication that you know about that we want to take a pause, or what it's just, I just think taking one piece out of it, even though it's just a banner, it's about something that's happening in town. I hate to see you take it out of your full picture. That's my opinion.
The one thing to mitigate your worry is no banner will be approved unless the permit for the event the banner is about has come before us and we've approved it.
And is that in this system? I mean, is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are some things, some banners that go up that are not related to.
Events.
on the green.
That is my second question.
Yeah, like there might be like Pentago might ask for a banner for something that's happening, at the theater, or I think.
Glad rags.
Yeah,
Glad
it's
rags,
not
yeah.
all about the permits on the green. My second part to this question is, does the ordinance, do the guidelines say, I don't even think this is in the regs. This is outside the zoning, the sign regs, what these banners do. It's not in our bylaws. I'm pretty sure. Having spent time looking.
Not in the monuments.
So does the ordinance say for village town events only? Does it have any bearings on geography? For example, I've seen, and this is not political, I'm not trying to make a, but I've seen banners from things going on outside of Woodstock physically, certainly in our upper valley. And so is there any language or consideration if you go automatic to that? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
You can just apply for a banner to have a banner about something that's happening 20 miles away and you get it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man,
saying?
I think this is for discussion, so it's not, it won't be a vote tonight, but I think there would probably be some agreement between my office and trustees on what can be approved administratively and what can't be. So I mean, just spitballing on top of my head, like a Woodstock centric event could be approved administratively. Something outside of Woodstock may have to come in front of the board. So it could be something along those lines of, so the trustee would have control over something that's kind of outside of the norm, I guess.
So I guess to restate my question, is an application has a bigger context than necessarily just, is there a week open? Here's the money, done. I'm just trying to say there's a bigger picture in the process that I would prefer. I mean, it slows it down a tiny bit, yeah, but it's conversation. It's my 2 cents. As you know, I'm always willing to offer.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Something we can discuss.
Scott Smith has his hand up.
Scott, are you there?
We don't see it.
The camera's off.
Hello?
Oh, hi, Kim.
Yeah, hi. So during the meeting, we got an alert that the host is not allowing participants to unmute themselves or chat. So I couldn't reply to anything.
So we ask people to raise their hand if they want to speak.
Oh, well, that would be good to know.
Sorry, is there something that you missed that you want to speak about?
Well, back to, the parking and the White Cottage. I mean, again, we have a lot of food services now. And I understand, I mean, I don't have anything against the White Cottage, but we are taking away 3 parking spaces. And Jeff's comment about losing parking spaces behind the Mountain Creamery old building. So I just want to make sure that we're really thinking about what we're doing here. So that's all I really have to say. I know you're going to do whatever you want to do. So thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to allow banner permits?
So it's a
That's
discussion, so we probably want to move it to the next meeting and have a vote.
Oh, okay, all right.
Next meeting.
So, okay, so now we're having our discussion around Tribu Park. This is a discussion, this is for ideas. As you all know, and some participate, Tribu Park is in its 2nd year. Am I correct? It's in its 2nd year in that area. And as you know, grass wears down, dirt is old. Yep, come on up. And so I had a discussion with Al, Eric's had a discussion with Al, I know you did, Brenda, about what we do around Tribu Park at this point, because we know this is going to go on for a long time.
Let me introduce myself.
Oh, okay.
Al Alessi, Woodstock.
So this is basically a discussion about, I'm asking you guys for what you think. I mean,
We're talking about the physical well-being of the park. Yes.
and we also have seeing some damage to the benches that are, if they're close to the road and they get salt on them, it can create damage there because they're left right on the edge of the sidewalk. So that, can cause some issues. But this is a discussion about how do we work together on this and I'm just going to start there.
That's the first I've heard of the benches, though. That's good. That's good to know.
Okay.
So, anyway, well, and I sent you 4 photos, but I on my way here, I went by and I took some shots because it was wet from the thunderstorms.
And we also, I don't want to be remiss, we received a $500 donation from you towards the care and maintenance.
Well,
Thank you
from
very
our
much.
group as a whole,
Yes,
yeah,
well,
it
thank you
wasn't-
very much.
It wasn't for me personally.
Yep.
Thank you. So, yeah, we feel, obviously, we've had an impact on it in a physical way, and we understand that, and hence the donation. And we also, what really began was talking about coming, sorry, oh, there's the photos. Yeah, that's the kind of the mud pit, but we'll get back to that. But, well, not mud, but it's
Worn.
grassless. Yeah, we'll say it's sort of a hard pack. But you know, we first began talking about showing up with rakes and cleaning it up and investing, you know, hard labor in that sense. But had a chat with Brenda actually on my way to another event, and that things cost, and I raised that with the group, and our group is about from our mail list is about 180 something people on the mail list. So that's who the group is. Some more active than others, but so we did a fundraiser, and in just really a few days of that, we ended up with that money, which we're really happy to you know, to deliver. And I think there's probably going to be another round, but we haven't kicked that off yet. But so I know that we're responsible to some degree, but there are also weaknesses within the park itself, the way it's, and if you look at that photo that we had up, the land slants off the sidewalk. So you can see like up where the tree is. So, and it gullies there. So when the ice was melting and we had quite a glacier there. It wasn't, you know, 3 feet thick, but it was pretty hard and pretty solid. And as it melted, it rolled right towards us if we were looking on this picture. And then it didn't have a good egress out. It had to make it to one of those large round, there's 2 large round metal plates. One is electrics, I think, and one is, I'm not sure what the other one is. I don't know. But because I spent an hour or so with a metal pole trying to help the water make its way through. Little boy's dream. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. But water wanted to stay there, so it gets trapped because of that sidewalk. So nevertheless, so that's one thing. So I'm just thinking that there's things that are inherently, you know, set for water to get trapped on that side of the sidewalk. But I also realize that we're there every day, so that is also true. But it's one out, and typically 10 to 20 people per day. So I don't know where that, and we're not hoping that this goes on for a long time. I mean, honestly, I'd be happy to see it end like 11 o'clock tonight. But in the meantime, we'd like to see the park move towards its best self. And I think we need a lawn professional kind of person to help think this through of how we can do this. Because I will say that, you know, a quality landscape park land with grass should be able to withstand a bunch of people without it becoming that per se. And that's where I say that gully that's created off the sidewalk, that's a landscaping issue to me. But again, I'm not an expert, and we'll help in any way that we can. But so I guess if I would say anything, I'm going on, I'm sorry, but I think maybe a subcommittee and find a professional or quasi-professional person or persons to kind of think through what the best way forward would be to make that. And a lot of that grass, by the way, was not great grass. You can see it, the part that didn't get worn come by in a week or two as the sun and so forth, but you'll see it's not plush, what you'd think is plush grass. It's kind of, I don't know what you call it. Yeah, it's like, it's sort of, it's like weird, you know, it's nothing that, so there's sections that are okay, but where all of that was there is not what you'd think of as a beautiful lawn. And so anyway, any questions or thoughts or?
It's just a discussion.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could ask Jack Rossi for some advice on that.
I thought of him actually driving over. I don't know, is lawns in his, I'm guessing it's in his repertoire. It's kind of a specialty a little bit.
It definitely would be, yeah.
It would be in Jack's?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if he would want to do a volunteer work.
And he might. You could ask.
It doesn't look like there's enough drainage possibly either, correct?
Where it ended up going in that large, if you come by, there's two large metal, they're gotta be close to 3 feet across. And they're not for water drainage. So there really was no place for the water to go from the ice and from even a storm right now. So it sort of sits there. So I would think, I would think that would be something that long-term, the village would want to improve that property in that way as well. I mean, and that's where a professional, let's say Jack, develop, and whether he does the work, even just kind of helping analyze, well, this is what would need to happen. Would he do that for free? I mean, because it's not what I do for work. Well, I don't work at all, actually, but it would be good to have, although it's sort of a job, but it would be good to have a professional insight as to what would solve that issue. And we've talked there about it a lot. We talked about, sod rolls, where they're already grown, you just unroll them, so you dig out and but it has to be part of a plan where it's not going to just happen again, so.
Yeah, Peggy has a comment.
Yes.
Wendy online does as well.
Oh,
Do I have to come up?
Yes, please.
Okay. Sit without. Two things about.
and you have to say who you are again.
Amy Fraser, Woodstock Village. If you go back historically, and I'm trying to remember, we came here in 2008, and I'm thinking it was around maybe 2009, and I know the Garden Club had some information, and Jack Rossi actually volunteered to do some help about, and Brenda, maybe you remember, I don't know, that people were going to buy bricks or something that you could have your name on it, like.
Yeah, there was a lady that.
The Garden Club was up for that, but I think it would have taken care of.
You mean like along where the sidewalk is
And
or
there would just be these.
Like Fenway.
this Fundraiser.
Fenway does it, yeah.
That was gonna happen, and I can't
We have a
remember
brick
all
at
the
Fenway.
details, but I just remember that was something that never happened, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But it was something that was of interest to a lot of people. And I do believe the Garden Club had some encouraging thoughts about it. If someone
It's another group.
could research, because I just can't remember enough
Yeah,
what that
it was
was,
the
but it
lady,
was,
it was some lady from the Garden Club that was from Barnard.
yeah, it was, she
I
was the
can't think of her
president. She was the
name,
president. Oh,
And she had like incredible ideas.
she did. She was very energetic. And then now basically went to Florida. Anyway, but others, some people like Fiona, or some people who might remember. And I can ask around too, because and Jack was involved as a,
Done
she
much
had a
work with
big-
Jack over the years.
yeah. I mean, the other thing is in thinking about Tribute Park, and this is when Mary and I started the whole first Black Lives Matter. Jane Curtis was alive. Jane Curtis at over 100 years old, come with her walker. But she reminded us too that in the 1960s and going back, that the park had this kind of historic legacy for protest, or vigils, or, you know, anything like, any gathering like that. And that, from Jane's perspective, it was something to cherish in our community, that there was a place to go. So that's, yeah. And now, of course, Al and, has done such an incredible job, so.
Thank you.
Did you say Wendy has?
I think she got kicked off or signed off.
Okay, all right. So I say the best thing to do is just come back to us.
Would you want me to ask anybody at the
Yeah,
garden?
Yeah, please, anybody.
Jack Rossi, somebody should contact, yeah.
Jack, is there anyone from either the, I don't mean, I mean, I know you're very busy, but someone from the staff and anyone from the trustees that would want to be a part of that little project, to just be, I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just asking if
Do you?
cares about.
I'd be willing to help out.
Yeah, well, that's actually,
She's right there.
Sort of your lawn too, in a way. I mean.
Yep. I've always wanted to do something out
All right,
there.
so we'll include you
Yeah.
and would you want to reach out to Jack? Do you
I
talk?
could.
Do you have it?
I don't think I have Jack's contact information, but he's not that hard to find.
Yeah, okay. Okay, if you could, that would be great. And, cause I don't think we're not gonna figure it out here. I mean, just sitting here.
Right, but I think it's good
Peter
that.
is about it, but still, and then what's possible, what the village really would end up wanting to do. And those are complicated decisions and questions, so.
That's why we wanted to have the discussion, because we
Have
need
the
to start
discussions,
having
here's
it.
a range, here's 2 or 3 options, expensive, less expensive, not expensive at all, whatever. So those are the 3 things. And I would be involved as well from that perspective, and anyone else from our group that wants to.
Eric, we would normally, Department of Public Works maintains parks in the green and things like that.
Correct.
So we would just have them take a look at it.
They could.
And they probably are looking at it in the spring anyway.
Yes.
Wendy's back on.
But I don't think they do, but correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they do like long-term, I mean, maybe not, I mean, I could be totally wrong.
No, currently we don't do, like, our public works is not staffed to do like long-term.
Yeah.
Planting on
turf,
grass, exactly.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff.
They
Yeah,
just mow.
yeah, it's good, it's current maintenance, yeah.
And stuff, yeah, and they did a trim on one of the crab apple trees and stuff, but.
But they may still have an opinion.
Correct, yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure, absolutely.
All right, now Wendy's got her hand up. And she's
Wendy.
back.
Wendy, would you like to make a comment?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I was on my phone and I swiped up and that logged me out. Anyway, this is a good time, I think, to plug the Woodstock Village Conservancy, which is interested in enhancing and maintaining our public spaces. So Trouba Park is definitely on our list of parks that we want to help the municipality improve. And as Eric just mentioned, DPW currently is not staffed and funded to do this kind of long-term care. The Conservancy is interested in raising private monies to help the town do the work that they cannot afford. We all know that we're trying to keep taxes down, and this is not as important as a lot of other things. But we're working with them now, and hopefully, I mean, it's not going to be tomorrow, but hopefully this will be something that we can engage the public with and get opinions about and make some headway with.
Great.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna leave it at Brenda, Al, Peggy's gonna do some talking. I don't know, Wendy, if you want to join the group. And
Wendy, would you want to be part of an ad hoc little group looking at that at the park, or find someone that you're working with that would want to do that?
The Conservancy want to take it on.
that we haven't said.
Oh, we lost.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Sorry, I'm not allowed to unmute myself. Yeah, so I'm happy to talk to anybody. The way that the Conservancy works is that we develop proposals for initiatives, and we develop working groups to work on these things. And so if you would like to be part of a working group with the Conservancy, that would be fabulous. There are lots of things on our laundry list to do. And so if we found someone who was on our leadership team who was interested in being the liaison, if you will, with the citizens working group, that would be great. The other thing that we're doing is hoping to set up a volunteer workforce that meets like twice a month or something, that we're dubbing the Conservancy Corps, and it would get us out there working in the fresh air, meeting each other, making friends, and helping the DPW maintain our parks, etc. So that's another thing that we're interested in doing, is not just putting down new grass, but also helping them maintain the landscape.
Yes, right.
So we
So-
can put you in the loop then, Wendy?
Yeah, so I don't know if people know, but we have a website. We're part of the Woodstock Community Trust. So you could just Google Woodstock Village Conservancy and you can find my information. Send me an email if you're interested. And yeah, we can start, thinking about what to do.
Great.
And our Tribune group, by the way, that I mentioned, we're already have talked about, I mean, this is the first warm day we've had really that felt like a raking kind of a day, but that was already on our list of things to do was,
Yeah.
just
And
on
by the
that
way,
level.
Roger Logan and Susie Stoltz and Jack Rossi are all on our leadership team. So these are people who would naturally be interested. So, yeah.
All right, so that's it.
Thank
We'll
you.
leave it up to you guys and come back and tell us what's going on.
All fixed within 2 weeks.
Okay, you do that. If I know Brenda, that'll happen. So there's two items on here, wassail and foliage. And the reason why they're on here is we tend to talk about these things a month beforehand instead of talking about it now. So what we're going to do is every month we're going to continue to add this. And the first thing that I want to talk about, or I recommend we talk about for wassail and foliage, is what is, I guess, what is the role of the trustees in wassail and foliage? And it's a question that kind of gets blurred because we take something on in a volunteer and then it ends up being put back on the town to do it administratively. And for example, the food vendors from 2 years ago. So I think we need to discuss as a group, what is our responsibility in these two big events, and also 4th of July, if we think about it. What do we see our role as? And I was going to ask Eric for 1 minute to, if you wouldn't mind, just talk more about a little bit about administratively what currently is a, we have DPW, we have police, we have, what are the departments, the municipal departments doing for these seasons this time?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mostly just work. We work kind of backwards, like with wassail, it's
Thank you all.
Good night, Roger. Thank you.
literally every full-time and if we can part-time worker in the police department. So we have mostly all dispatch out. We have every officer out for the parade to get the section off so it's safe. Public Works with any barriers, extra trash that day. All through Wausau, we're paying someone overtime to come in throughout the weekend to get the trash barrels. Administratively for Wausau, it's more on the marketing end. Once the trustees approve the permits, it's more just like us helping the chamber out anywhere we can. Being available for any issues come up. Always in all day Saturday.
And what about foliage in general?
Yeah, I was gonna foliage a little more. So I think Wausau kind of exists as it does, and the municipality kind of functions the way we need to function for it to survive. There's not a lot of, I think, extra administrative work that goes along with Wausau. Foliage is different in the sense of course, again, you have extra overtime for Public Works. Police have more patrols. The real issue comes in when we try to advocate for food on the green to happen. Because what happens is, and usually the last 3 years, 2 years, it's fallen either with one member of the trustees, but usually admin staff doing all the legwork for the food on the green. To the point 2 years ago, we had admin staff with like a calendar in our office of who was where, phone calls, running around on the weekends if someone didn't show up, solving problems, and it really became an administrative effort rather than an organic effort or something else. I'm hopeful this year that this is the third or fourth year we've encouraged nonprofits to be in the green, that we kind of do it a little more with less of work on our end, or I think trustees agree, we want people on these dates, these days, maximum these amount of people. We get an Excel sheet going. Once that day's filled, we say you can no longer come, you can come somewhere else. That might be a little bit easier, but I think the quicker we get the word out, that people know it's happening and fill those spots, the easier it'll be for us administratively. Like right now, we're busy, but we're not fully as busy. So if we can have to spend an hour every 2 weeks on it, that's fine. It's when it's September 15th and we're trying to organize a special meeting for the trustees, approve 2 permits, and trying to make sure who has electricity, who doesn't need electricity. That's when it gets kind of stressful for us.
The last year, one thing that needs improvement, and I know it's tough, but last year I made a number of phone calls to you. The overflow of trash is an ongoing problem, and somehow it needs to be dealt with in advance this year. Understanding that it's going to be, instead of reacting after that they're overflowing onto the sidewalk.
Yes, I mean, there's 2 ways to solve this. One is to try to contract with Casella to come more days. The alternative is we pay our public works crew overtime. We tried hard to do that. I think mostly because we had someone available on weekends to do it. But there are times when it is a decision on my end that, it's Thursday evening and trash is overflowing. I know Casella's coming in Friday morning, and do I spend the $200 in overtime to have someone come in to dump trash when in 8 to 9 hours Casella's coming in? So those are some of the things where it's just been called my end. What we try to do is we have a wastewater crew, and our water crew have to be in 7 days a week for tests. So what we try to do during foliage is ask them Saturday, Sunday morning when they come and do testing to take a drive around the village, and if trash is overflowing, throw it in the pickup truck, dump it at the dumpster. And then we try to have a public works employee, if they're willing to work overtime on Saturday and Sunday, to come in around 3 or 4 o'clock, do a tour of the village, pick up trash if they can. That's like an optional overtime, so we can't force it on them. We could, but that's not going to make us very happy with some of the employees.
You might want to put out more trash barrels.
That's all. We've done that.
Even though they're not so attractive, the ones we have.
Yeah, we try to do that as well. We try to get more trash barrels out there as
You
well.
might want to put more out this year.
And I think what I found is because I did this one day, I was in here on a weekend, and there was a trash barrel overflowing. I think the yours, Jeffrey, you weren't there, and I got a trash barrel from, was it Linda?
Yeah.
I went out, put all the empty cans into a trash bag, literally walked across the street to an empty trash barrel and put it in there. So there's also a habit of people there's empty trash barrels or half full trash barrels, but they just put the cup on top of whatever barrel's in front of them, even if it's overflowing. And so that's an issue too of people just being lazy.
And some locations are hotter than others.
Correct, yeah.
Right. But I think it's bigger than trash. There's other things.
Yes, but that's a big one.
That's a big one, but there's also, making sure people know where the bathrooms are and making sure that they understand parking and, what the food vendors and how we control them. And do we need volunteers? Recruit volunteers to do different things.
And the restaurant maps that we had last year came out.
We're wrong.
No, so there's new ones.
The new ones.
Yeah,
New ones were great. And
We need to.
So Jess Kirby made those up last fall, and we actually have new ones being printed that are updated for the springtime rush. So we'll keep on doing that because that's been very successful.
That's great, yeah.
Something we talked about internally, and I don't want to volunteer people for this, but I thought we had last year was spending some money and buying t-shirts, like maybe yellow t-shirts that say something like volunteer, ask me a question, and CM staff want to volunteer a day instead of being in the office put a yellow shirt on and just be out in the public walking around and helping
And
people.
something us trustees can also do. if we
As
want
well,
to.
yeah, and just, some shirt that signifies that you're there to help and, just have them out there for a few shifts, get them outside. It's something we could try internally. So again, maybe this is what they could help direct people, talk to people, be an ambassador. So we're gonna see if that will work too.
And I know I did go on buses last year and talk to them and they were absolutely thrilled.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever gotten on a bus in any town anywhere and said hello. So I think it made a big impression.
So if the board's okay, what I can do is kind of update the Excel sheet we used last year for food vendors, have it on the main meeting, and maybe we make decisions on when we want people to come, how many people we want each day, and try to get the word out now, see if we can get some people slowly trickling in for affiliates to plan ahead of time.
That sounds good.
What if we put a calendar online of available days that are open for people to sign up for having food on the green? And then people could go on and see what's available and then they could, sign up for it and let you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would have to see if there's a software where you can give people access to enter, but not access to delete. Right, you don't want me to go on and delete your big foliage day for my foliage day. So we had last time when someone just emailed me and then I updated the Excel sheet. It was a little more work, but I really save it that way.
But we can put a piece of information on the town webpage that says,
yes,
this is what we're looking for. This day is full, this weekend is full.
Yeah, that's what we probably did last year.
Maybe even a breakdown of like where the power plugs are and
who needs what. Yeah, that's a big thing with power plugs.
Yeah, she does. Kitty's done that. Explain where the plugs are.
Well, but if you just did it up online and said, go online, here it is, instead of having to tell every single person.
Right, they can't sign up.
Yeah.
Maybe, but the information.
Yeah, information there, yeah, that's a good point.
You get to come up and say your name again. Well, that way they can hear you.
Wendy wants to volunteer.
When she makes.
No, I'm just a 2 cents. My question, Lisa, and everyone and Eric. I forget my budget structure, but the Welcome Center is under the village?
Town.
Really?
Yes, they own
Town.
that.
My hierarchy, my organizational chart in my mind is thinking, if the system of having a welcome center is in place, which it is, and a modest, beautiful scale in that restroom location, and you build on that. Okay, with volunteers, but you build on it to your point where you've acted as a greeter, as an ambassador for the town. I mean, and if this is a mission, as your point being, of the trustees, of the village trustees and the government of the village, to act as welcoming ambassadors to visitors and encourage visitors. I do get confused with the role of the chamber. I get them, mixed up, or I get confused. I don't think it's your job to be the chamber. But
It's not, yeah.
it's, you know what I'm saying, there's this, but if the municipality is managing the welcome center, grow the idea of the welcome center with a group of volunteers that can move out into these concerns at peak times. That is what I'm thinking, this is where I was going.
It's kind of what Eric was.
Yeah.
You have a location, like headquarters, the welcome center, and go build from there, is my.
I think that's a great idea. I've got a question. Who owns the little building on the green? It's sometimes staff.
I'm sorry.
Is that an old, yeah.
Frank Teagle deposited that one night.
Oh.
So that was Frank Teagle.
So the answer is
He knows who Frank is, yeah.
no one.
Knows.
I think, I should say this out loud, but I think legally we could go and remove tomorrow and have no legal action against us. It's a town-owned property. A building was put on there without a permit, without approval, and it's been there forever. And I don't want to have it removed, but it's just there to.
It's
Well, because they have had people in it at times.
Frank, right?
They used to have
The
people.
chamber
there.
used to staff it. It
Yeah.
used to be staffed
Right.
as an information booth.
Yeah.
And it
was-
can still be staffed if we want to do that.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
My
We can
point,
use it.
my point
Yeah.
was that is the spot to park some folks too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
But I-
that's how it
But
happened
I
in the
love the
middle of the
history.
night.
I didn't,
In
yeah,
the middle of the night, Frank deposited it there and
it's
just
been there a
became,
good long time.
long time.
Let's
Sorry,
move on.
Okay, so we are now in the minutes.
Yeah, do it.
Jeffrey,
I've
come
got-
on up.
I've got some corrections. The minutes start with March 10th. And the second page under police report, Police Chief Chris O'Keefe. Now, as far as I know, there's two Fs.
Yes.
Right. So it's spelled wrong 1, 2, 3 times in the police report.
It's EEFF.
Been happening for 43 years, I'm not upset.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. Just pointing out that should be corrected because it's correct elsewhere. Now, internally in that same section, there's a correction that's more important in a sense. It says, now this is the 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph down. Someone named Jeffrey Kahn praised the increased enforcement efforts, noting the historical context of lost revenue from when the state took over truck permitting authority. That shouldn't read that way. It should say the state took away truck permitting requirements. So that needs to be changed to reflect the accuracy there. That is all I have until we get to
Which month? Which one?
this one is under Village Roads and Bridges Standards, same March 10th.
Okay.
And this happens more than once, but Greg Fullerton became Greg Fulton. So it's under Village Roads and Bridges Standards. Let's change that to Fullerton. And 2 pages later, again, change it to Greg Fullerton.
Yep.
Instead of Greg Fulton under snow removal process. I do want to point out under peddler's license, it says trustees have agreed to begin the rewrite process with Eric Duffy and Lisa Lawler, incorporating previous input from former trustee Wendy. Wendy was never a trustee, so that should be changed. And it should say Wendy Spector.
Which Wendy? Yeah, what Wendy are we talking about?
Well, they're talking about Wendy Spector. It should say Wendy Spector, and she was never a former trustee. So that's the change there, and that's the total I have for that one, unless there are other corrections that anyone else caught. In which case I'll go to March 17th. Somebody named Wendy Marinan. It has a twin whose also name is Wendy Marinan. So
Spelled differently.
the people who under public, Wendy should only be there once, twice. So that's a correction, and those are all the corrections I have. That's,
Oh, well done.
Wow.
Well done.
I make a motion
To,
Two.
to adjourn.
no, you have to accept the
approve-
minutes.
approve the minutes as correct.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as
Corrected.
corrected.
So
And I
moved.
make a motion to adjourn.
No, we have to go through.
Oh, excuse me.
I know this is your first time.
I'll second her motion to approve the minutes.
A motion
As-
or motion?
It's late.
It's motion for both
Wait,
minutes.
wait.
Yeah, for, I
So correct
second.
Both minutes, yes.
I was in bed last
Already
night
did
at
that.
7:00.
In favor?
Aye.
No, you have to call in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
You.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any
At
opposed?
the time.
At, what,
8:42?
8:44?
8:44.
I got 8:43.
I figured 43 too, so we'll call it that.
Okay.
8:43.